The word gospel literally means good news. We all love hearing good news, and we all respond well to good news. So it's important in our lives as disciples for us to learn how to grow in responding to the gospel, to the good news. Our leadership has spent some good time discussing how we as a church can grow in our response to the gospel. Questions like, how do we respond more to grace and mercy and less to fear and guilt? Or how do we respond to the Holy Spirit and really be empowered by the Holy Spirit instead of being fueled by our human efforts? Questions like this will drive the heart of our teaching in 2018. How do we, as a church, respond to the gospel? On Sundays, beginning in January, we'll study out the book of Galatians. 1, 2, 3. On Sundays, beginning in January, we'll study out the book of Galatians, which is a book really highlighting the unchangeable nature of the gospel and how it shapes our personal life and our community life. In the middle of the year, we'll study the book of Judges, which covers a pivotal point in Israel's history. And then finally, we'll finish the year by exploring the book of Acts, which really shows how the Holy Spirit moves in the individual believer, but also how it really energizes the church. So our Sundays begin with Galatians, then we move to Judges, and we finish the year by studying the book of Acts, all really centered about how we can respond as a church to the gospel. For our Wednesday midweeks, beginning in January until April, we'll look at how the gospel impacts you, how we all can respond by reading our Bibles, or praying, or fasting, or any other spiritual discipline that impacts us personally. January to April, how the gospel impacts you. Beginning in May until August, we'll explore how we can reach a lost world. Questions like how to build friendships that are meaningful and based on love that are long-term, and also how to connect to complete strangers and conversate with them. Also, when to persevere with someone that's studying the Bible and help them understand, or when it's time to let go when we're studying the Bible with someone that isn't really seeking. May to August, how we can reach a lost world. And finally, we'll talk about how the gospel impacts our one another relationships with discipling one another. Whether it's training someone, peer-to-peer discipling, or group discipling, we can all benefit by teaching each other, training each other, correcting one another, rebuking one another, so that we can all be equipped for the good work. So this rounds out our teaching from September to December, how the gospel impacts our one another relationships. In 2018, as a church, we'll all grow together in our response to the gospel. I believe grace and mercy and the Holy Spirit provide authentic, long-term discipleship. The message has changed my life, it's changed your life, and it's waiting to change many more lives here in Auckland and throughout New Zealand. Let's all be thoughtful and prayerful how we can grow in our response to the gospel message in 2018.